What was the spark? What was the little thread of the storyline that started your curiosity?
What's happened for me was I was in a corporate career. I was in high tech, and I burned out of that. I completely burned out. And I'd had mold exposure and autoimmune and gluten intolerant for many, many years. And all of those things over a long period of time built into a host of symptoms that I struggled with. And then the stress of my corporate career just tanked my adrenals. Everything was a mess. So, and right about the time that I tanked, I met my business partner, Dan Howard, and he introduced me to these minerals, these liquid minerals. And without changing anything else, I just took that little cup of liquid every day. And over the space of like 8 or 9 months, all of my symptoms, I mean, even with doctor's tests, and I had really bad problems with my mouth, and everything completely resolved after years of trying to heal it. Gut healed, adrenals came up, sinus infections went away. I stopped getting sick like at all these things. And I was just left with this incredible curiosity about, after going to so many practitioners and taking so many pills and prescriptions and you name it, trying to heal all my symptoms one by one, how could that little cup of liquid had made such a difference in a relatively short period of time?
Yeah.
And so I ended up researching, I took a several year deep dive into the science behind the body and how minerals work and what minerals are and all of this stuff. And then I started to want to tell people.
Yeah, as you do, as you do. I could interview you for 8 hours. I could go into, I'm so curious when people tell me, like, what did you see visually that was the crack in the door that you're like, I want to go there and I want to explore. I was walking outside today and talking about an episode I did last week to the social media channels. And, a lot of times when I hear people say disease or a malady, it's like, was the label MS? Was it IBS? Was it Crohn's? And then the second question down is that definition your set reality? Or is that a constellation somebody told you to look for? Because it's like that story with Orion's belt. It's like, well, guys just made up a story about those stars because they wanted assistance. They needed guidance. And so we do that a lot of times with disease. As you had this experience with minerals and things started to unfold, were you curious as to why that symptomology was letting go in a unique order?
At that point, I was somebody, I really didn't know that much about my body. Even though I had been a dancer and an athlete, but I really had never been taught about my physiology. So I was kind of probably like most people are with their cars, like something's going wrong, go to the mechanic because they're the expert. So certainly many practitioners had named what was wrong with me, but not a single one had ever mentioned that I might be mineral deficient. Not a one, As I went into looking at, like, studying and researching, there's a few ahas that came to me that just changed everything for me. And they're the things that really lit me up. And the first was that if you think about your body, I mean, we think about our body and we look through a doctor's lens and we see a disease, a diagnosis, right? But this body is completely made of cells, single cells. And all of those cells work together in this miraculous way as an ecosystem, a natural ecosystem, just like the forest outside. It all works together, and my heart cells know their heart cells, and my, finger cells know their finger cells, on and on. So that was my first moment. And I remember going, well, how many are there? And through a study finding that there's like 37 to 150 trillion, not billion, trillion cells in an adult human. That alone made me start to, I felt like I was walking around the circle and looking from a new perspective. And then I kept going deeper and looking inside the cells at the mitochondria. And that's when I just went like, oh my gosh, like these little powerhouses generate almost all the energy in the body, and they're fueled by two things, minerals and amino acids. That's their fuel. Now the body makes a lot of amino acids, it makes no minerals. They all have to come from the outside. Just that alone made me go, oh, that little liquid cup of minerals was adding fuel.
Yeah.